Earlier this week, I got to spend some quality time on the Chickahominy River with a pair of expert fishermen. The surprising part of this story comes first. Meet Joe Wilkerson and Ryan Ingalls, part of the CNU fishing team. College fishing? Who knew?
It seems like it's still surprising people. It's been around for, I think the first official college tournament started around 2007.
In case you were wondering what kind of fishing this is, I defer to Joe.
Bass fishing, I'm addicted to it. I've been doing it for a long time, and now I really won't fish for any other species.
How appropriate, he got the first hit of the day. These are college students. Did we learn anything from the first catch?
Anytime you catch a fish, it tells you the pattern, is what we call it in bass fishing. So like I caught that fish off a cypress tree in 2.5 feet of water, so we'll try to duplicate that.
How good is the CNU fishing team? So good that against the best schools in the country in the Nationals in Kentucky, they finished 5th.
We put our time in out there, and we found a pattern that was working, and we just stuck with it.
On this day, the biggest catch was not a bass, but a bowfin, or a trash fish, as Joe called it. Watch out, they've got teeth. Later, we hit a large patch of lily pads, good hunting grounds, but the only thing there was another bowfin. At least he put on a good show. Maybe if we talk a little more about the national tournament, we'll get back in the bass groove.
It's just great to compete against all the big name schools like Auburn, Florida, NC State. They were all in the top 5. Then here's little CNU.
There's little CNU, and we're back in business with another bass. So now you know there is college fishing on the club level at schools. There's no scholarships yet. It's just a club level sport. But you can also catch these guys on TV on Sunday. That national competition is on Versus at 1 o'clock. Check out your CNU fishing team. Welcome to Richmond. I'm Scott Cash, standing outside the Richmond Coliseum where ODU fans are still celebrating as the Monarchs won the CAA title for the 2011 season, and it was a great night for the Monarchs. It looked easy for a while, but winning championships is really hard work, as they've shown for the entire year, and especially tonight. A game with VCU they met in the finals. It was certainly packed with excitement. It's the best rivalry in the CAA, as if we needed any more emotion tonight. VCU came out hitting threes and took a quick lead. But then Frank Cassell went to work with the foul. ODU was up 12-10. Off the bench, Treon Iliadis had a good night. This bucket after some good defense. They also had little trouble breaking the VCU press. Keon Carter finishes with the flush. Then, before the break, it was Hassell one more time. It helped the Monarchs to a 39-26 halftime lead. It looked like more of the same when Kent Bazemore did his thing, and ODU led by 18 early in the second half. Then the furious comeback from the Rams. Jamie Skeen cut the lead in half. Then Skeen pulled VCU to within 1 with 4 minutes to go. Time to go back to the big man again. Hassell, your tournament MVP, stopped the bleeding. Darius James sealed things up tight with the jumper, and ODU wins the CAA crown 70-65.
I wanted to jump on him early. I wanted to get a speedy start off on him, try to bury him early, but dig a deep hole so they won't come back.
We came out and we knew that we could jump out on them, similar to how we did in the Siegel Center, and we did that. But they made a great push second half because they're a great team. They're well coached, so we knew they were going to make a run. It was just a matter of withstanding it and holding out.
It's the 6th conference title for ODU and their 2nd straight.
It feels good, man. This is our goal the whole year, and we just wanted to make sure we took care of business, and we still got a lot of basketball left to play.
It's nice to win one, but to get it back-to-back is so much harder. So we went through a lot this year. We worked really hard, so to win it again, it feels real good.
Well, it doesn't come easy. After you win one, all of a sudden everybody wants you, and we've done so much and accomplished so much this year in the non-conference, the conference. But to come here to this tournament with the league that we have and the teams that we have and win this thing again, it speaks volumes for the kids we have.
It also speaks volumes about the program. ODU is now going to the postseason in play for basketball for the 7th year in a row. It'll be the 4th time in those 7 years that they're going to an NCAA tournament game. I've never touched this one before. We got a new one, Regina. And we talk about all the great athletes to come out of our area all the time. I found another. He's a world-class star in an event that puts a twist into a well-known sport. If you're on the beach in Ocean View and you see this, don't worry, it's not a rumble, it's beach wrestling.
Well, it's something new. It's something different. Like I said, it's outside. You can do this with outdoor activities. It's real easy to understand.
Who better to explain this than Rob Teat, who was preparing for an international beach wrestling competition in Georgia, as in the country, not the state.
It's recognized as the oldest version of amateur wrestling. Wrestling on mats, that concept's only about 100 years old and a sport over 5,000 years old. Rules are real simple. You score a point by either taking down your opponent or by pushing them out of bounds. Once you score a point, you're back up on your feet. First person to score 2 points wins the match.
I ask all the tough questions like, isn't it a problem when you get a face full of sand?
Well, once you do that, the referee will usually stop after a point if there's sand in the face or something, you know, and get a water bucket, wash up.
Simple stuff like grasping the other guys when they're all sandy. Is that a problem?
No, actually it makes it easier. It's got some grit. It's like grabbing sandpaper.
Hopefully he'll be getting a good grip in the big competition this coming weekend.
I'm probably considered one of the favorites. I've always done well wrestling guys 20, 30, 40 pounds heavier, and now I'm competing in a weight class that I'm right there at, 154.
Wow, love the sandpaper reference. Good luck to him in that world-class competition this weekend in Georgia, you know, south of Russia, north of Armenia, that Georgia. It's the opening night of the playoffs. They played all the Division VI games tonight. Woodside, the only undefeated team in Group AAA in our region, but it looked like they would have the toughest challenge because Darnell Moore and the Bayside Marlins were the regional defending champion and the number 7 seed, while Woodside was number 2. Donnell Lewis, the quarterback for the Wolverines, a 9-yard play set up a 1-yard plunge by Lewis, and it was 14-13 Woodside in the second half. We go to the fourth quarter. Dion Stitt to Anthony Cooper, who had 9 catches for 203 yards and that touchdown, making it 19-14. They went for a 2-point conversion. Looks like the same kind of play. This one to Javon Smallwood, important because they gave them a 7-point lead. Here comes the Wolverines, a tremendous fourth quarter in this game. Quincy Jones catches the pass from Donnell Lewis, capping a 99-yard drive, sending the game to overtime, tied at 21. Wolverines missed a field goal, and then Bayside, the game-winning touchdown. There it is. Dion Stitt to Quinn Blanding. The Marlins win it 27-21 upset. Oscar Smith against Bethel in Chesapeake. Oscar Smith lost their opener to a team in Maryland and won 9 straight since then. J.J. Williamson, their quarterback, goes in from 13 yards out to make it 13-0. Here the pass from J.J. Williamson to Devontae Williams, who pitches to J.C. Coleman. 20-0 Oscar Smith at that point. Bethel has a very dynamic quarterback in Frank Brown, who passed for nearly 2,000 yards in the regular season. Trying to make a game of it. This pass to Rashawn Proctor, 20-7. Oscar Smith still had the lead. Then they just poured it on, did the Tigers. J.J. Williamson hooks up with Zach Jones. It was 29-7 at halftime. Oscar Smith, they win easily, 50-15. The highest scoring game of the night, Ocean Lakes against Salem. This was a wild one. Both teams from the beach. Ocean Lake's the only team to beat Salem this year in the regular season. Salem, Bucky Hodges to Kwame Bowens. Get used to this connection. Great catch. 45 yards, 14-0 Sun Devils. Eli Harold does it all for Ocean Lakes. Goes in on a 6-yard keeper here, making it 14-6. Then it looked like the Salem was going to pull away here. Hodges again to Bowens over the middle. Nice. 74 yards later, it's 21-8 Salem. But back comes Ocean Lake with a touchdown, and this play right before the half, a little trickery. Corwin Cutler to Eli Harold, and then another pass, a forward pass, this time to Mike Alston. 22-21, Ocean Lakes led at halftime. Second half, here comes Salem. Hodges to who else? Kwame Bowens for the third time. Another beautiful touchdown, 28-22. That was a 49-yarder. Then they give the ball off to Devontae Walker. Huge second half for Salem. They win 62-28, scoring 41 points in the second half.
Tomorrow they'll face Georgia Southern in round 2 of the playoffs. 13 News Sports Director Scott Cash has followed the team to Statesboro, Georgia, and he joins us live with a preview of that big game. Scott?
Well, we were in Statesboro, probably the first of the contingent to get to Statesboro last night, but trust me, there's nothing going on in Statesboro, Georgia. So we drove down to Savannah, got here early this afternoon. It's been a steady stream, not a whole lot going on in Savannah at this time of night either, but there's been a steady stream of Monarch Nation since this afternoon. The team flew into Savannah this afternoon and then bused to downtown. Coach Wilder was one of the first to lead the troops into the city.
Well, we've had a really good week of practice, Scott. Other than just a rash of injuries we've had on defense, specifically the defensive backfield, everything else has been great. The kids are excited to be here, and as you can see, we're pulling into beautiful Savannah and getting ready to drive to Statesboro tomorrow morning.
Once we left Coach and his team at the hotel, we didn't have to go far to find ODU fans.
Let's go ODU! Monarchs!
What are your pregame preparations like?
We're going to tape up later tonight and get in the hot tub for a while. The whirlpool.
We are so excited to be here. Old Dominion University is #1.
Are you making pregame preparations? What are you doing?
Gin and tonics.
We expect a lot of fireworks tomorrow, and they actually started tonight on the waterfront. To get a better glimpse of the nightlife, we roamed River Street, where we found more Monarch faithful.
ODU!
Our pre-game plan is to make sure the team is in the room very early at night. We need a lot of energy tomorrow. We're going to beat those guys. Can't wait to get up there.
They're going to whip butt. They're going to go out there and play some great defense, and hopefully they'll pay attention to the offense team, and we're going to go out there and hopefully we're going to go back home with a win.
So that's your business here in Statesboro. We're going to commute back to Statesboro tonight. We're in Savannah. But before we get there, we'll be back later in Sports David to preview this big game tomorrow. You've got an NFL lockout, an NBA lockout. What are you going to watch now? How about something a little different? I've got you covered here. The strongman and strong woman competition tomorrow at the Brute Strength Gym in Poplar Hall Drive near Military Circle. They'll be pulling cement trucks. They'll be flipping big tires. It all sounds kind of nutty, doesn't it? Nah.
Some people think so, but, you know, maybe other things are just as crazy, such as marathons and the Tour de France, which is coming up soon, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it takes you away from the conventional style of lifting.
Meet Dave and his 4,000-pound car. You know, if you put a car in the gym, something special is about to happen. This is the kind of event you see in the strongman.
Yeah, the combination of just odd objects that just draw people to it. You know, you have a car, people lifting a car, it just fascinates some people.
How do people get started in this kind of thing? For some, weightlifting just wasn't enough.
I've been doing the basic weightlifting thing for a while, and I was just bored. I wanted something new, a new challenge, and this is awesome.
Back to Dave for a second. You can tell this sport takes a special breed.
You know, just being strong is one thing, but when you have to move heavy weights, you know, over a course of distance or just having to, like I said, flip tires and such, it takes a little bit more athleticism.
You got to have a lot of self-confidence and know that what you're coming out here to do, that you can do it, and you have to put the time and the work in to achieve that goal. But I think it starts up here.
Starts up there, and it all starts tomorrow at 11 o'clock at the Brute Strength Gym.